Now, this gentleman was on the show a few weeks ago, but as I was scouring social media, I came across a video that he did, that he animated, and I was a bit confused because I thought it was actually the movie, but it was actually his take on the movie. And so I decided to reach out to him in New York and said, Sekani Solomon, you have to be back on the show and explain what this is about. Because when you look at all the posts underneath, everyone was just giving him accolades about the quality of his work. I'm speaking about animator Sekani Solomon from Tobago, but he is in New York, I believe. Good morning, Sekani.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good, good. Can't complain.
No, you did not keep your word, because the last time we spoke, you were in New York and you said, once I come home for Christmas, we're going to come in the studio. But I know what it's like when you come home, right?
Yeah, vacation time. Yeah.
So you're back in the US now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So I was looking through social media and I came across your animation for Star Wars, and I thought it was the actual movie. And then I started reading the comments and I realized it's really your interpretation, or you tell me what it is exactly before we show the short.
Yeah, sure. So this is a project I started in 2016.
Yeah.
It just kind of started as like this little idea I had, and over the years it kind of evolved. So I started it, but I kind of worked on it on and off just because I had other projects that came up.
Right.
But this year, last year, 2019, I was like, I need to get this thing done, especially because the last Star Wars movie was coming out. So I was like, if they coincide, that would be perfect. So
Yes.
I'll capitalize on all that Star Wars hype and just kind of create something create a Star Wars universe how I always kind of pictured it, and this was the end result.
So this is your interpretation of it.
Yes.
Yeah. And have you actually worked, I know you've worked on a lot of international productions. You worked on Black Panther as well, right?
Yep.
Right. So you've worked on all these Hollywood productions, but have you actually worked on Star Wars, the movie? Any of the movies?
I have not.
So you need to. All right. And what happens now? Because now that it's out there and you're getting all these excellent reviews for it, is it that you enter it into festivals, or how does it work with a production like this? Because I'm not sure, how does it work when you're doing something that parallels the actual movie?
Yeah, so for me, this is all part of like a professional strategy, right? Because
Right.
again, how you elevate in your career field is based on the work that you output. So of course, like the higher quality content you can create, when you show that to creative directors, companies, it kind of elevates your value in the market. So for me, this was more so like a showcase of skill, while in the meantime just elevating my brand in the design world.
Yeah.
But yeah, coupled to the fact that it's gotten over 1 million views now,
I know.
which is fantastic. I'm planning to enter it into a couple of competitions. It's an official Star Wars competition that they have.
Yes.
So, just leveraging this project to get doper projects.
So, Star Wars has its own cult following, right? All the persons who are into sci-fi and so on. Are you a Star Wars person? Are you into sci-fi, or is this just because you're an animator?
Yeah, so I saw Star Wars with the re-release around 1997 when I was a kid. My mom took me to the cinema. So since then, like it's always been something that I really enjoyed. So like for me to actually have the capabilities to create something like this, for me, well, it was more like a team effort. I probably did, I'd say, around 80% of the work, and I had some friends help me out with a couple parts.
Yeah.
But still, to still be able to create something like this has been, phenomenal.
And in terms of real time, right? So you said you started in 2016, but it was a start-stop until last year, 2019. But in real time, how many man-hours would it really take if you had the ability to work on it nonstop?
Well, that's a very good question. I would say definitely about 100, couple hundred hours.
100, right, yes.
But I'd say a couple $100. But there's so many different aspects that goes into creating something like this.
Yeah.
From production, when you're kind of conceptualizing exactly what you're going to do, to actually the assets to animating, to finding people to get do the sound, do some of the animation. So it's like a whole process to go through to create something like this.
And this question came up in discussions. So you would own the intellectual property to the images that you created in this short, correct? Even though it bears resemblance to some of the images that we see in Star Wars, the movie. How does that work?
Yes and no. Fortunately, Lucasfilm is very chill when it comes to copyright, just because there's such a vibrant fan base and there's so many fan films.
Right,
They tend not to file like copyright complaints, but at the end of the day, it's their property. They can do whatever they want with it.
right.
So when I release these things, I just make sure it's not for profit. I'm not really benefiting from it upfront in the sense that like I'm charging people to watch it or anything, but
Right.
obviously, again, if it helps your career and you get people, to see your work, you kind
Right.
of profit that way. So kind of more so indirectly.
And it
But
also and it also adds to the buzz of the whole Star Wars, excitement and hysteria, especially with the film coming out. So I think you're doing them a favor.
but that
All right, so are you going to set it up for us? Because we want to run the short now. So set it up for us so we can cross to the video. I'm sure everyone's waiting to see what this is all about.
oh yeah.
Yeah? Sekani?
Oh, you want me to set it up?
Yeah, yeah. It's your
Oh,
film.
how do I do that? I thought you guys were handling that from your end.
Okay, right. So we're just going to run it. Okay, I just thought you
Yeah,
would tell us
yeah.
what it's about a bit. But it's fine. We're going to take a
Oh,
look now.
you mean set it up
Yeah.
as in like tell you about it?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so the film is it's about stormtroopers. Essentially, it's a snapshot into this group of stormtroopers fighting against an unknown enemy. And for me, it was about how do you depict stormtroopers in a cool way, because stormtroopers are always made to look like comedic and incompetent. So I wanted to depict stormtroopers as fierce fighters in a very cool, dynamic way, focusing on things that you've never really seen before in the Star Wars universe. So that was my whole take on it.
Okay, wonderful. So let's take a look at that video right now. Thank you so much, Sekani.
No problem.
All right. Wow, and those images, they're created by our very own Sekani Solomon out of Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Son of the soil, you should be really proud. I'm very proud of Sekani. I think I always follow his work. I follow everything that he does. And all success to you, Sekani. We're going to keep checking in with you as you continue to just take Trinidad and Tobago to the world stage and take yourself as a global citizen, which we were talking about earlier.